In this example, we are asked to use the table to answer a couple of questions. The first question being to complete the table. In order to complete the table, we have to look at the pattern that is occurring in each column. In column A, we go from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 3. So each time we are adding 1. So to go from 3 plus 1 will give us 4, 4 plus 1 will be 5, 5 plus 1 is 6, and 6 plus 1 is 7. In column B, it doesn't look that simple. So I like to take two of the numbers and subtract them. So what it looks like is we are going to end up with a 0.8. Now whether or not I'm adding 0.8 or subtracting 0.8, I don't know yet. It looks like if we go from 1.1 to 0.3, we're getting smaller, which means we're going to subtract 0.8, or just 0.8. And then to go from 0.3 to negative 0.5, again, you are subtracting 8. So if we continue in that pattern, I'm going to end up with a negative 1.3, a negative, let's see, 2.1, negative 2.9, and negative 3 points, I think that would be 7. So that takes care of question A to complete the table, but it also takes care of column B, which is asking for the pattern. And in order to complete the table, we had to find that pattern. And that pattern was to subtract 0.8, or just 0.8. The last two questions, which are to find the values of the domain and the range, are actually pretty simple. We just have to look at our input and our output. Input is always your first column and output is your second column. So to list the values of the domain, we're just going to use a brace, because this is going to be a set of numbers, and we're going to list the values from least to greatest. Domain, again, is our input. So I'm going to take all the values from column A and list them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then the same thing for the range. But with the range, you have to be a little bit careful because we do have some negatives here. Remember that the larger the number looks when it's negative, the smaller the value actually is. So negative 3.7 is really our smallest number, and we're just going to list them in order after that. Negative 0.5, or positive 0.3, and finally 1.1. And then we close it up with a brace.